film. Thoughts on the performance?
Thought there was a lot of good in the game. Our guys came out. We were really physical, played with good positioning, handled a lot of adjustments, tempo, management of the game, checks. Thought we played with good discipline, not perfect. Again, matched the mindset and the physicality, and didn't let the emotion of the game, be more than again any other week. Just in regards to playing with poise and again discipline and focusing on execution and playing with great effort. So those things were obviously really positive. Would like to be a little better on third down and create more disruption, but we gave up some of the disruption that you get sometimes for being overly aggressive or more aggressive in your play calling, and just being the first game of the year, not knowing again exactly what we're going to get, and thought our guys managed the game plan really well from that standpoint. Needed to get a stop at the end of the game, and weren't able to do that, and so that was disappointing. But our guys played with tremendous effort and toughness, and gave ourselves a chance to win, and played good team defense for a good part of the night. I think they might have had 21 completions, and I think 18 of those 21 were 8 yards or less. The throw was 8 yards or less, and I think they were maybe 2 of 10 on throws of 9 yards or more. So when the ball was challenged and pushed down the field, our guys really did a nice job, whether we picked it or had a PBU. There's a couple of interference that were in there as well. But I thought our positioning was good. I think they, from a play call standpoint, they had it on schedule to call a few shots, but we were in great position and on top of route. So, they went elsewhere with the football. So, really pleased with some of the game within the game, and again the adjusting and positioning I thought was really good.
They attempted to go hurry up a few times, and people said, hey, maybe Clemson's had some issues with hurry up. Offense is not getting a play call in time. Did you guys work on that in the offseason?
Well, we always work on it.
Yeah.
Always work on it. I think we've played plenty of teams that huddle. Notre Dame huddled in the ACC championship. That's what they do. They huddle, and they sugar huddle and line up quick, and handled that pretty good in that game. Pitt was no huddle. Go back and watch the TV copy. They go fast the whole time, and we played pretty good there. And didn't do it well against Ohio State, and we did it pretty good with Georgia. They did a lot of movement and a lot of shifting before the ball snapped, and a lot of tempo attempt, and our guys handled it well. So it's not easy. If it was easy to defend, then why do offenses do it? What is the advantage of tempo? I asked the question, and who's got the answer? Why do offenses tempo? Larry? Why do offenses go tempo?
Take advantage of you not getting set?
Yeah, right. Bad eyes, bad technique, not lined up. That's why offense is tempo, right? So, when we haven't defended it well, I think we're on the plus side of handling tempo well. By and large, we've had weak moments. But people go no huddle and they tempo across the country, really, even in the NFL now. And the teams that can manage it well on offense typically do well. But if you get lined up, do the little things right, pre-snap, post-snap takes care of itself. So we've had plenty of teams that have tried the sugar huddle. We've had teams that go with a wristband. We've had plenty of warts and moments where we haven't been great, but we've had a hell of a lot more where we've dominated the wristband team and have dominated the tempo team. And so, That's why we always say, too, every game's a life of its own. It's a season of its own, too. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past, but just to, to go back and, just a brief history. You go back to the Fiesta Bowl when we shut Ohio State out 31-0. They tried tempo from the jump and tried tempo a lot in that game. But our guys got lined up and defended it stuff well. So played with good eyes and technique and all those kind of things. So anyway.
What does it say that you went into the game missing Tyler and Nolan and were still able to play to your
Yeah, proud of the guys that stepped up. A number of those guys inside. Obviously, Root got his first start and really played well. Under the circumstances, and got something to really build off of. And Makuba, got his first start, and he would have started had Nolan been healthy. Nolan would have been on the other side in all likelihood. So, Makuba has done that since he was out here this spring, just as far as where he played at. So it says again, we've got some good young players and building some depth there at some critical positions, and guys stepped up, whether it's Tyler or Trey Williams and Rook and Peyton and Darnell, certainly Brian played well, but it was good to see those guys. They're down some guys. Certainly we had two of our better players going into the season, two of the more experienced guys, and unfortunately right up the middle of your defense. But, when we weren't good, we were really not good outside, defending the edges, where we got to get a little better at. But proud of those guys that stepped up.
What's your message to a guy like Root? You don't have to do too much. Just play your gap. That's your job. That's it.
Yeah, that's in some ways it's a very simple thing, but it's a very challenging thing too. Everything happens a lot faster the closer you are to the line of scrimmage. So, the margin for error is a lot less with your eyes, your hands, your feet, your get off, all those things, and the precision. There's a lot of precision. Yes, there's physicality, and a great get off can really make up for maybe some of the other things not being great, but there's a lot that's on that guy from a physical and a technical standpoint. So for him, again, I think it's a good place to build from, and what you hope it does, it's a shot in the arm, it's confidence, it's trust in his teammates, your teammates trusting him, and hopefully he'll just keep making the kind of improvement that he's capable of making for the season.
What do you think about Makuba's journey to this point?
Mm-hmm.
Through his life, he's had an interesting background.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get where he is and be able to grasp things so well.
Yeah, he's easy to pull for. Such a remarkable young guy, and because first and foremost, he kind of epitomized what we want all of our program to be about, but trying to get our players to think the right way and have the right kind of perspective and have a thankfulness and an appreciation and see the positive as opposed to the negative, and let anything that's been bad that he's gone through growing up or seen maybe family members go through, that he's allowed that to fuel him instead of destroy him or define him. He said let it develop him. And from the very first conversation I remember having with him, he knew so much about Clemson, like what we're really about, not the winning, everything else. And then bragged on how big of a fan his brother was, Vincent, he's like the father figure of their family, and was advising him on schools to look at and things of that nature. So at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, that's how we got Andrew, because of his own familiarity, doing his own homework. But what a great fit, because he's the reason we get a guy going down Austin, Texas, and be able to get a guy like that out of Austin is because he's looking for the right things. He's made of the right stuff in regards to his values, but he's about his business. Again, just a great son, a great brother, a great uncle. And he's a good young guy. I mean, he's a great teammate, super humble, very hardworking. How many times he has said thank you, just gone out of his way to come up and say thank you, Coach. And he's done it to a lot of people since he's been here. But thank you for bringing me. Thank you for believing in me. Just stuff like that. It's like, who does that when they're 18 years old? So it's a breath of fresh air. And he's easy to coach, and he's cold-blooded when he's out on that field. He's got ice in his veins. We discussed it back and forth whether or not, starting the Georgia game. I say, that's no different starting, to me, anybody you play. It doesn't matter whether it's game 6 or it's the first game of the year. Some guys, the moment won't be. And again, he's got a lot to learn, and he's not polished yet, and those kinds of things. He's beyond his years in some ways, but he's got a lot of growth to do still. But some guys, just the moment isn't too big for them. When they get out there, it's just football. And for him, it's just football. So, but he's got, again, a great, undenying attitude, and again, perspective that's a little bit different, a lot of maturity, and so it's easy to pull for guys like that.
How much of his attitude got it, your thought process of putting him out there to start?
I mean, his attitude put him in position to, when he gets out there, that again he can do the little things well, and his attitude off the field, where he's investing instead of getting distracted. All them freshmen say they want to play, but not all of them are in the film room. Since the day he's got here, he doesn't need anybody to show him, tell him what to do. He just does it. So he's very ambitious. He's a self-starter, and he can lead himself. And he's just very, very eager to do things well in every part of his life. So. That attitude is, again, over a period of time, that level of consistency, that's what allowed, Coach Kahn and, Coach Sweeney and everybody else to believe in him and say, he is the right guy for him, even his teammates, but you got to kind of earn that. And he did that, starting whatever third team that he did, fourth team even, and then when he made the most of his opportunity. So, if that's 15% of the reps, when he got in there, those 15%, that attitude helped him do well. Okay, I'm not going to worry about how many compared to somebody else. When I do get in there, I'm going to do well. And that's the message for all of us, right? Don't worry about how many opportunities or when the opportunities or, how my opportunity compares to somebody. Just do well with your opportunity, and everything else will take care of itself. And so he's really epitomized that since he's been here.
Along those lines, what's impressed you the most about him from first meeting till?
What impressed?
What's impressed
Yeah, just his focus. Great focus. Again, great humility. Arrive early, stay late. He from the day he got here, he sought out Nolan Turner. He's like, okay, wait a minute. He's the best guy. He's the best, most consistent player. Let me learn from him. And he sought Nolan out. We didn't have to say, hey, now look, you go to see. He just sought him out. And that takes a lot of humility. A lot of these guys come in here and they've had a lot of success, and like they're the dude. They don't want to come in there. You have to be very vulnerable to expose yourself to that. Like, hey, can you help me? I need some help. I know I'm Johnny stud recruit here, but I need some help. You mind if I ask you some questions? You mind if you show me the way? When you watching film, would you help me learn? I want to do things like you. You have to really humble yourself, and that's not human nature. So that's always impressed me. And then again, just the thankful spirit that he has. It's a very endearing quality for anyone to have, football player or not. And so he's got a lot of the intangibles that's allowed him to have the kind of success that he's had really his whole life. But everybody loves him because, again, he is humble, but he's really hard-working, very competitive. It's like when we do the one-on-ones. Well, you can go in there and work the slots. You can go against the slots. You can go against the tight ends. You can go against the backs, or you can go find the best receivers. He's always, from the day he got here, instead of going against maybe somebody that just arrived the same day he did, he's always sought out the older guys, the veterans, who's supposed to be the best receivers, and gone one-on-one. And knowing that, hey, yeah, I might fail, but that's how that stress is going to allow me to grow faster and get better sooner. And for me, be able to gauge myself where I'm at and what I need to do to get better. So just stuff like that, just very, very mature, beyond his years from that standpoint.
What do you guys need to see from Landon Sanders if he's going to earn some of his money like that?
Yeah, well, Landon's a big part of what we're doing, and really, Andrew's situation had nothing to do with Landon. It really had everything to do with Andrew, and so we're counting on Landon to be a big part of what we're doing. So you can't take every rep back there. So Landon's been great. He did everything we wanted him to do in the out of season and making improvement where he needed to with getting healthy and then adding strength and some size. And so hopefully he'll, he banged his shoulder up a little bit. Hopefully that'll be okay. And he's been doing well.
Rook is a guy who's kind of had a late start to football. What allows him his skill set for him as a player to progress to the point he has to be able to be a starting?
Yeah, well, he's very athletic, and so he can really bend, and he's explosive. He's got good speed and good natural power, and then he's just built himself up from a weight room and a size standpoint to transition into a good, powerful, explosive inside player. He's long-armed, violent hands, smart, tough, hardworking. All those qualities have all helped him. And but he understands football, so he's an instinctive guy as opposed to a rep guy that is athletic that doesn't know what he's doing. He's got some know-how to him from that standpoint that's natural.
I think personality-wise, he's kind of a jokester Rook a little bit. What's he like in the meeting room day to day?
Yeah, I mean he's about his business, but he's a little bit more lighthearted. He likes to have fun. Work hard, play hard kind of guy. So he hangs out with a lot of skilled guys. He thinks he's skinny and all that kind of stuff. But he's outgrown that a long time ago. But he refuses to believe that, so we'll just let him think what he wants. But no, he's fun. He's a good teammate, and again, a humble guy and a lot of fun.
Landon, that was the same shoulder last year that was bothering
Mm-hmm.
you?
Yep.
Anything from anybody on Zoom?
Coach Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com. Just curious what you thought of that delay of game call on Skowski trying to simulate the snap. Didn't seem like that's what he was doing.
Well, he wasn't trying to do that, but I don't think anything about it. That I understand why they called it. He's just trying to get somebody's attention. But so it's really a non-issue to me. He'll know not to do that again. You have to kind of find other ways, like physically go move people if he needs to. So.
Thanks.
Yep.
Brent, this is Pete at AP. You mentioned Andrew kind of seeking out Nolan and asking questions. In a bigger picture, with the guys who are 23 and 24 on the team and other guys who are 17 and 18, did you ever worry coming into this season about that spread and how it would mix in the locker room? And it sounds like maybe things aren't going well between your younger guys and your older guys.
Yeah, no, our culture, I think that's one of the keys. Our older guys have always embraced the younger guys. We don't have a culture of entitlement or a culture that where there's a hazing kind of mentality whatsoever. It's a culture that serves one another, and I don't think another year in college is going to separate guys, from that standpoint for helping and mentoring and leading, pouring into guys. They were all, hopefully you have a culture that they all received that same type of mentoring at one point in time, and they value that and want to pay it forward. So that's what, you know, that locker room's all about. So no surprise that that, you know, it was well received by Nolan.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.